Please note that this week's episode contains discussion about difficult topics like suicide that may bring up strong emotions for some listeners. If you feel that hearing this content could potentially impact your mental well-being, please skip the second question of this particular episode. Check out this clip from Headspace Studios' podcast series, Dear Headspace. Hi, you two. Here we are again. I have to say, I do love this combo.
I love it too.
Me
I love it
too.
Right?
Greetings, Robin and Samantha. Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure.
All right. Well, let's get things started, shall we? Here is our first question from Lisa, and it is all about when to end a relationship.
Hello, my name is Lisa, and I'm from Southeast Los Angeles. My question is, how do I know if I should stay in a relationship? I've been with my partner for over 7 years now, and throughout that time, we've broken up multiple times. 4 years into the relationship, my partner enlisted into the Navy, but before that, I felt that I was more emotionally invested into the relationship than he was because he was the one who would break it off. When he enlisted, he asked me to marry him, which was a shock because I didn't feel it was a genuine proposal, so I declined. We're still together, but I consistently think about how unhealthy a relationship is. Last year, he told me he married his sister's best friend so he could receive the extra money from the military. And I still carry that into our relationship as we still try to make it work, but I feel lost. How do I know if I should stay in this relationship? Thank you.
Wow. Well, thank you for your question, Lisa. This is, it's a big question. And I think one we're all, anybody who's been in a relationship understands this. But right out of the gate, I just have to say this. If it's this hard right now, it is not going to get easier. Long-term relationships are hard.
This question reminds me of, you know how on Instagram, when you have like a post that's kind of outrageous or interesting, and someone says, I ran straight to the comments.
Yes.
This is one of those type of posts. This is one of those questions. So thanks for your question, Lisa. Relationships, we said numerous times that relationships, matters of the heart. They can be difficult. They come with their own trials and tribulations, especially if you really love the person, ups and downs. And very rarely have I ever really said definitively that this is something to walk away from. But I have to say, Lisa, if you were my client, I would say with certainty to walk away from this guy.
Yeah, it just doesn't sound good.
Is the definition of toxic, and it sounds like he's sapping your energy. He's taking your energy from you. Just the mere fact that y'all have broken up numerous times over the 7 years.
Yeah.
That speaks volumes. And he married your sister's
somebody's sister,
friend.
Somebody. Yeah, it was something.
And then y'all are still in the relationship. So technically you're in a relationship with a married man.
Yeah.
Which is, and he used her. It's just hella messy.
It's just a lot. I started putting a Post-it on my note. Y'all know I like my Post-its.
I do love your Post-its.
But this one said, save yourself.
Yeah.
And that is screaming so loudly. Just in hearing you speak, Lisa, is that you are looking for someone to give you permission to save yourself.
Yes.
Save yourself.
Yes.
We'll be the ones to say it.
Yes.
Well, because it's also like, I guess my question is like, what do you want in a relationship? And then compare and contrast to how you're being treated. I would venture to guess that most people want in a relationship someone to love them and respect them, and a person that shows up and you each treat each other well. And everything that you said in this question, I just don't hear any of that. So it's like asking yourself that question of what do I want? And then what is this person showing up? I think that sometimes can help you clarify but it's been this many years, or but he says he loves me, but all the buts that come up. Because as soon as I start saying buts, it's not right. It's not
a red
right.
flag. It's a red flag.
There
I
are
would
so
also
many
venture.
red flags here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so many, Samantha. I would also ask Lisa, if she's ever seen a therapist or a professional. If not, I would definitely recommend it. And in those sessions, a couple of questions that I would really maybe dive into is, it sounds like you're not over this guy.
Yeah.
So, how can you get to a place where you're over him? Right? Because there's nothing wrong with loving someone, but if they're not reciprocating it, if they're treating you terribly, as this situation sounds like, how can you take the steps to get over them? And then why are you allowing this man to treat you in this way?
Yes.
So that's something to really process. I would say in a session, a professional session. What is it that's present that's making you say this is okay? Why
Yeah.
are you allowing this guy to continue to over and over again treat you in this manner?
And Lisa, I would also venture to guess that if a friend of yours was in this situation, you'd be like, girl, why are you letting him treat you like this? Or what, it's amazing the things that we will allow ourselves to put up with that we wouldn't want for our kids or our friends or our
Right.
family.
Yeah.
And I think that's those are also for me, like things that I can use, like, am I on the right path?
Right. I think one thing I want Lisa to know is that it's okay that you have stayed and endured, and there should be no shame attached, because there is a reason why you have stayed. There is something either that is missing or something that is being added to your life. When you think about saving yourself and you start doing the things that make you want to save yourself, like putting yourself first, prioritizing your own needs, seeing a therapist or a coach, like that will eventually put away, like push out the things that are not serving you.
Yeah.
And so I just don't want you to walk away feeling like, man, why did I stay so long? Because
Yeah.
I have stayed and had to
That's what I
figure
was
out
just
how to
gonna say.
prioritize myself
Yes.
and until it became what I needed. And so it's okay that you've done that, but what change do you want to see? And you have to be that change. Don't wait for
Yeah.
him to create a change for you.
Yeah, I just didn't want Lisa to leave this thinking that we're all like, get out, girl, that's easy. And it doesn't mean it's not easy. It's every one of us has stayed too long and then looked back and be like, oh, why did I do that? Like, I mean, I just remember saying to my friends one time, like, listen, you're just going to have to watch me smack my head against this wall until I feel like stopping. And they were all like, because I wasn't ready. So, but I just think calling and asking, you might be ready. Like, that's an important marker.
Yeah, I agree.
So we're sending you love. We're sending you strength to make decisions that are good and healthy for you.
And send yourself some of that love also, that self-compassion also. Be gentle with yourself in this journey.
Hi, Headspace. My name's Jess, and I'm from the UK. My dad tried to take his own life and was very nearly successful, and he was in hospital. Ever since, I've just been feeling so sad. I'm very close to my dad, and knowing that he has been hurt in the way that he has been really breaks me. And it's just been such a difficult time. I'm really struggling to get my head around it. And I feel so sad. Every day I wake up, I just feel sad. And I'm trying to be kind to myself, trying to be gentle with myself, but it's just so difficult. And I'm just looking for some kind of advice or guidance to just help me through this period of uncertainty. I want to be strong for my dad as well. He doesn't need to see me cry every time I hang out with him. So any advice, much appreciated. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you for your question, Jess. It sounds like, I mean, to me, you're already being strong for your dad, right out of the gate. This just sounds like a really, really difficult situation.
Yeah, this is I'm so sorry, Jess, that this is something that you're going through. Sending you all the love and care, and thank you for calling in. I mean, this is as heavy as it gets, right?
Yeah.
This is really as heavy as it gets. So right away, just asking if you are or not seeing a professional, and a mental health professional, and if you're not, I would highly, highly advise to seek one out. This is a lot to process. And you need that professional guidance. You need that space, that safe space, to be able to just process it and go through the journey. Because that's what it is. It's a journey. There's not a quick fix here, unfortunately.
No, and like she said, I don't want him to see me cry, and that's a lot of pressure to put on yourself to, because it, unfortunately, obviously your dad's in a space that's not good, but that does have a ripple effect on the other people too. And so it's like just I'm echoing what Kessonga's saying. It's just so critical that you're taking care of yourself. And I was just glad to hear her say, like, I'm trying to be gentle with myself, because it's, you don't want to make it worse.
That's exactly what I was thinking, Robin, is I'm so appreciative, Jess, of you and the work that you're already doing, is to just being gentle with yourself. Even that can be like pushing a boulder up a mountain. And, the idea of being strong all the time, that's such a heavy burden. And so
it's not realistic.
It's not realistic.
At all, yeah.
It's not realistic. And is the concept even something we want? You know? Is that something we want to see? Maybe if looking at what being strong felt like and not having to have that feeling, that might relieve some pressure, but having somebody to talk to, if there are other family that you could actually lean into for support, and friends who can help you to shoulder some of what you're feeling as a burden.
Yeah. And Kessonga, you were saying like, it's going to be a journey. So like, let's take it there, because it is a journey. Like, so what advice for when you have, like, because this could also be a person who is dealing with a family member who has cancer, or, a divorce, like things that are ongoing, aren't solved by, going to see a therapist immediately, and they're going to be in your life in this way. So like, can we talk about it from that point of view for a little bit?
Yeah, sure. Well, I would also ask, just if you have the opportunity to take off from work, first off, so you have that time to really process this and be with this journey. And as far as the journey is concerned, it's really moment by moment. So this is where the practice really comes into play. I don't know what your meditation practice looks like, what your mindfulness practice looks like. But really, moment by moment, and being present with each moment, allowing yourself to grieve, allowing yourself to cry, kind of piggybacking on what Robin and Samantha was saying, being gentle with yourself, and whatever you're experiencing right now is perfectly okay, and allow yourself to feel it, allow yourself to ride, as we say, ride that wave, because those waves are going to come. These are pretty big waves right now. These are pretty big waves. So allow yourself to ride them. And when they crash and dissipate, okay, appreciate that moment. But most likely there's going to be another one right behind it. So really just tracking yourself and checking in with yourself moment by moment as you experience this journey. The only way to the other side is to go through.
Yeah.
So right now you're going through it, Jess.
I was just thinking of like that, approaching it with the way that kids approach their emotions. Like, it's here, I'm feeling it all, and then I'm coming out on the other side. I mean, where appropriate. Obviously, you can't, just start screaming in the workplace. But, just
saying,
like,
if she could take off from work, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, you're right. That would be, if she could get a leave of absence. And you can get short-term or long-term disability to take care of loved ones. So that may be something to look into as well. And it might even be taking care of yourself during that time too.
Absolutely. And maybe just admitting, like, it's okay to not be okay right now. And if you've only admitted that to us on this call, it may be important to share that with some other people in your life, that you're not okay either.
Yeah.
And you need some additional support, on this journey.
So something I don't know what it was about what you just said, Samantha, that really pinged with me. I had a client that was going through something similar. And one of the exercises that I did with him was I had him, it was a mirror exercise where he was going through a hard time, grief, crying frequently and what have you. And I asked him just to see how it feels to look at, this particular client was feeling guilty about feeling what he was feeling. So I said, just look in the mirror. Look in the mirror, look at yourself, and say to yourself, I give you permission to feel what you feel.
That's nice.
Yeah. And he said he tried it and tears came.
Oh.
I said, and he stopped the exercise. I said, well, see what it feels like to do it while you're crying and looking at yourself while you're crying. Of course, if it becomes too overwhelming, you can stop and pause. But that talking and seeing yourself and voicing to yourself, I give you permission to feel what you feel in the moment. Even while you're in that space of strong emotion and crying, it can be a game changer. We're looking for ways to get through this, right? We're looking for ways to get through this journey moment by moment.
Right.
And that can be pretty helpful. So yeah, try it out, Jess, and see how it feels.
Okay. And I do just want to say to anyone who's listening, if you are struggling with a mental health condition, please make sure to talk to a licensed provider. You can also find support resources on Headspace's mental health resource page, which is headspace.com/mental-health-resources. I'm going to put that into the show notes so it's there for everyone as well. All right, we are back and we have a question from Evo.
Hi, my name is Evo and I'm from Amsterdam. Long-time listener, first-time caller. Headspace has helped me a lot in calming any anxious thoughts that I have, especially in the morning when I don't know what's coming. But I notice that when I'm about to wake up and I'm half asleep, dreaming, and half awake, my thoughts are all over the place. I can break myself out and consciously calm myself, only to soothe myself back to sleep and start all over again. What can I do to help calm my subconscious in the morning or even before sleeping the night before? Thank you.
Oh, thank you for this question, Evo. Also, thank you for the jokes. Longtime listener, first time caller. We appreciate you listening. But, what's interesting is like that early morning is my worst time sleeping as well. It's when I wake up with every fear, every concern. Like it's definitely like the world is ending at 3 a.m. in my brain every day. So I'm really looking forward to hearing what your accredited thoughts are on this, as mine are just guesses. Because I've talked to some friends who talk about there's like cortisol rushes in the morning, but I've never fact checked that or anything. So I want to hear what you two have to say.
I was going to say that cortisol rush is real. I did fact check it for myself. And
you did? Okay.
Yes. And so now if I wake up at 3:30 a.m., I'm like, look at that cortisol.
Wow.
I wonder if it's some like old school thing in our DNA about like waking up because, there was a threat from God knows what predator. Like, you know what I mean? I wonder if there's just something, because that it seems like early morning is when you'd be, I don't know. Predators were probably 24/7 back in the days. I've taken us off, you guys. I've taken us off track.
I don't know. I think it has something to do with your circadian rhythm, like in sleep.
That makes more sense.
Yeah. But I do wake up early in the morning and my thoughts immediately before I even open up my eyes have already finished out everything I needed to do in my head before I have stepped foot out of the bed. And I found like if I do a brain dump on like journal before the night before, that is really helpful. And then if I wake up in the morning, because I know that's going to happen, I immediately go into like some deep breathing or some sort of like repetitive thought that allows me to just calm it down. It doesn't mean I'm trying to stop it or anything like that, but I am trying to manage it.
Yeah.
And so that's what has been working for me.
I like that. I've recently added in, I have one of those very sexy sleep headbands that has speakers. Like nobody, we should not get pictures of me in the middle of the night. It's not cute. But I have started during those moments turning on white noise. And I have found that something about it distracts myself from all the running conversation, and it has been helping me fall back to sleep during those moments. So I offer that as well.
I have one though, but it has the blue lights and red lights, and you push the button. Yeah, and you can do like these red blinking lights, and I promise you, I fall asleep before it ends the red light. Like,
wait,
session.
are the lights inside? Mine just has speakers. Wait,
No,
now you're
it's
speaking about new
inside.
stuff. We got lights in the headbands.
Yes.
Okay, we're going to need a link that we're going to put in the show
That
notes,
is funny.
Samantha, and also for your girl Robin, because I need lights and I need like a whole, like I'm turning it to like sleep deprivation,
Well,
like
Evo,
one of those tanks.
my suggestion isn't as high tech. I'm sorry, Evo, but
You could still be a part of this, Kessonga. It's okay.
what pinged for me, Evo, is when you said that you're trying to control your subconscious.
Yeah.
So that's a wild notion, man.
Good luck with that.
Yeah. I would maybe shift your perspective and maybe allow yourself to let that go. Because when it comes to sleeping, dreaming, the subconscious, there is no rhyme or reason to what's going to happen. Something I deal with, sleep paralysis. So
Wait. So you're asleep and you're paralyzed?
No, I'm asleep. So sleep paralysis is I'm asleep, but I'm aware that I'm asleep, but I can't move. So it's literally like I'm awake, but I'm sleeping.
Oh my God, that sounds so scary.
It's very scary. And then I also learned that some people with sleep paralysis also have terrors with it. So they feel like something is coming after them. So it's a wild situation. But I just say that to say, I've learned how to deal with it. I've learned how to come out of it. Right away, my practice actually has helped me with it, because before I used to just panic.
Yeah.
Well, now I'm able to just literally breathe, take deep breaths, and that kind of brings me out of it. So, Eva, it sounds like you have a practice, so I would ask, what time are you going to bed? Right. So are you getting adequate amount of sleep?
Hygiene. Yeah.
Yeah. That's also something I deal with, Evo. I got to get to bed earlier.
Oh.
I'm making strides, but it's your sleep patterns.
Sleep hygiene is tough in the modern age.
It is.
We got a phone next to our bed, and I want to leave it there in case somebody's calling about the kids.
So all of that,
it's all
of that. Yeah.
Plus, also, I got to be on the Instagram Reels.
Yeah.
It's the worst.
Okay,
it's the worst
Robin.
before bed. It's the worst.
Okay. So Evo, don't listen to
Don't
that.
do what I said. Do what I say, not what I do.
Exactly. Yeah. So paying attention to that. What's your nighttime routine? Because I've learned that how you wake up in the morning is dependent on how you go to sleep the night before. So paying attention to how are you going to sleep. And then when you are waking up and you're feeling that anxiety, like I said, it sounds like you have a practice. The journaling, I love that idea, Samantha, doing that mind up journaling, doing some kind of mindfulness practice that will bring you into the here and now, and allow you to manage those. There's nothing wrong with what you're experiencing, but how do you navigate through it? How do you manage it? So even dropping into meditation, I've said this numerous times. Wake up as soon as your feet hit the floor. Drop into a brief meditation right there on the side, the edge of your bed.
Yeah.
And that can kind of just bring you and just settle everything down right here, right now,
And you can keep that Samantha journal by the bed for the middle of the night too, because sometimes, I don't know about you, Evo, but I'm listing. I'm listing all, and it's like a panic listing. It's not just like, oh, I don't want to forget to get groceries. It's like, I have to get groceries and I have to, it's like,
Yes.
and it's like, and there's never going to be enough time for me to do the things I'm supposed to do. But I do find that if I just write those things down, it does help me let go of it sometimes.
Yes.
It's almost just like a mixture of a mixed bag of a lot of things you got to try, because it doesn't seem like it's preventable.
No, I don't think there's like a magic answer or pill for this, but I also think if you're trying to control your subconscious, I don't want to say there's a hard no, but that's if that's the solve we're trying to come to, we can spin this conversation many ways, but we may not be able to do that.
Yeah, you gotta gently let that go, Evo. Gently let that notion go of trying to control your subconscious. Observing with that kind and gentle curiosity
Yes.
what it's doing.
Not a hard no.
Worst case scenario, around 3, 4 a.m., you're up. Just think of the three of us, Samantha, Kessonga, me, on East Coast time, and we're with you. We're probably up thinking too. Send us an email, say hello.
And if you even want to take it a step further, you can actually call Robin.
No,
Robin's
but-
number is 91.
And by the way, the phone will be by my bed because I'll be afraid that something happened to my children who are 4 feet from me. Well, good luck, Evo. We're with you. I mean, I was going to say literally, but we're not literally with you. But we're with you spiritually, metaphysically, metaphorically, all of the ways that are words that I can no longer remember.
I used to like to say, my brother and I used to say this, I'll see you in dreamland. You know, what are you, and I used to say this with my girls also, what are you going to be in dreamland? I'm going to be a yellow hippopotamus. I'm going to be a red dragon, you know.
I'm going to be a stressed out mess.
No.
That's what I
Hopefully I'm going to be asleep.
You're going to be sleeping in dreamland.
I'm hopeful.
No, I'm sleeping in dreamland.
Well,
but even
thank you.
thank you for your question. Thank you for your question, man.
Yeah, and I just have to say, I gotta just say something about the Dear Headspace community right now, y'all. I mean, I'm always so proud and impressed and happy, honestly, that our listeners trust us and that they let us into their lives with these really, really big questions. It just makes the community feel so like we don't see these people, but I feel such a connection to this community.
Absolutely, and these are real questions.
Yeah.
That we all deal with, from the heavy to the light. This is life, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Today, I don't know, some courses that came up to me in the app was the self-esteem meditation, self-esteem course in the app. I would highly recommend that. And then also there's a whole section for sleep. There's a whole section that deals with sleep. So diving into that also can be very beneficial.
Well, sounds like a fantastic suggestion. And folks, if you're at home or out on the go, wherever you happen to be right now, and you have something that you just need a little bit of help with, we are here for you too. So we make it pretty darn easy for you to record your question. All you have to do is go to sayhi.chat/dearheadspace, and you're going to follow the prompts. Of course, that link will be in the show notes. We got a whole lot of stuff I'm putting in the show notes. I hope somebody reminds me. And if we use your question on Dear Headspace, you're going to get 3 months of Headspace for free. Until next time, stay happy.
Stay healthy.
And be kind to each other.